Good morning, everyone. June the 3rd. I'm still not running. I worked a little bit late last night. Did some fine body work. Actually got the rocker panel screwed into place for now. I don't have time to deal with it. I may get the other one on, I may not. But I plugged away. I finished up brake lines. Today, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the fuel system underneath. Get that routed up to the front. Get the brake lines clamped in place. Hopefully be bleeding brakes and stuff this afternoon. I'd like to get some power to it today. Get the battery in. And if all goes well, I'll be working on just getting her to run tomorrow. Maybe late tonight, I don't know. So, that's the project of the day. Here we go. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're way ahead of me in getting your stuff ready for the Hot Rod Power Tour. I have 6 days, including today. Yes, I am leaving on the 9th. Today is the 3rd, so we're running close. So, fingers crossed, we're going to make this thing happen. Let's get to work. So we've got our fuel line routed, kind of on the outside of the frame rail. Being as there's no inner fender, I put it a little bit up on top. It's still 4 or 5 inches away from the header. Goes up around, up through the AC bracket and to the front of the engine. That should work about the best. Now going toward the back, I have it routed so it's attached to the frame. Goes up underneath. Goes around the back and then is attached up there and right to the bulkhead fitting. I did put a couple wire ties to hold the battery cable, which I have encapsulated in a heater hose up in there. Here's my brake line as I talked about yesterday. Nice and gold. That's that. I have filled the transmission, the final and the differential. It is bolted together. It is gasketed, gooped, and ready to rock. So the rear end's done, drive shaft is in and bolted, transmission is full of fluid. We should be ready to rock as far as that. Next thing is to go ahead and put all the clamps on the brake lines, front and rear, and then I will go ahead and start mocking up at some exhaust, and I'll get it down a little ways and figure out how to do an emergency brake cable, because I'm gonna have to put a loop in these or something, but I gotta at least have one that works, right? So, we'll continue on. The pile is getting smaller. Fingers crossed. Needs to be running tonight or tomorrow at the latest. Oh, I hope I can make it. It's really getting tight now. Well, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 7th of June, and I have bad news. Seems the state of Florida has made the Natty Ratty Hot Rods Chrysler project fail. Last November, I went to register the car. It's already insured through Hagerty. And they said I needed to get the serial number verified. So I called the sheriff's department. They came out, keeping in mind the car didn't run. And they came out and verified it. So I went back into the tag office. They asked me if the car had been modified. I said yes. They said, well, you need a weight certificate. Okay. Problem was, the car had no front suspension underneath it and all. If you recall, there was some issues there. So I couldn't get it weighed. So I asked if there was a time limit on the serial number verification. They said no. Move up a few months. In February of 2023, they changed the law in the state of Florida. Apparently there have been a lot of classic car thefts. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't worry about anything. I figured, okay, I've got my title from Colorado. I have my weight certificate. When I get closer to the end, I'll go ahead and register it. No problem. So yesterday, the 6th, I go in to register the car. And they said, well, we can't do that. So they give me 3 pages of paperwork that I have to fill out. Then I have to take the car to Palmetto, which is 130 miles away, and get it re-inspected to confirm through Tallahassee, Florida, that the car is not stolen. Now this isn't a big deal, except for, number one, I'm out of days. Number two, the car has to be a running, driving vehicle by then, which means that I would have to get it completed today, put it on a trailer, tow it for 3 hours with traffic one way, get them to look at the serial number on the driver's side door. Then they have to send that information to Tallahassee, where it takes another day to get a verification okay. Then I have to go to the tag office and get the title and a set of tags. It's not gonna happen. I'm out of time. I have to be out of here Friday. The plan was to go look at a piece of property we're purchasing up in Tennessee, then run back down to Atlanta and get ready for the power tour. I'm really in a pickle here. I'm gonna do my best to try and get this car running today. I still have a lot of work to do. Obviously, I don't have any help. Most of my friends are good friends, but they are not car guys. So I really can't reach out and get a gang together. A couple of my power tour buddies have come out and helped, but they've got full plates trying to get their stuff ready, and they aren't available. So I'm on my own here. I do have the back end wired. I'm gonna walk around. We'll make this all one video and I'll download it all at once. Sorry, I'm not going to edit this video. This is just going to be a one-trick pony, and you'll get it all at once. So yesterday, I went ahead, after doing what we had to do for selling our house and da-da-da, I went ahead and plumbed in the fuel system. Everything is ready. That red wire is actually the power to the fuel pump. Battery goes here. Not a big deal. I can pop a battery in it in a heartbeat. About the fuel pump, fuel lines are in. The only thing I don't have is over there. I don't have my anti-rollover or my rollover valve. Dashboard is all wired and ready. Of course, no radio, no air conditioning as of yet. Going forward, I determined that my Hollies are not going to work. These two 4-barrels, I do not have all of the magic to plumb them in, so I've got to get the right stuff. I'll probably pick it up from Jags or Summit, but I don't have time. Excuse me. So what I've gone and done is just kind of pre-plumbed. Still have to put radiator hoses on, blah, blah, blah. Still have to wire the front end, which is no big deal. I have a pair of 500 Hollies that I'm going ahead and going through. Got one of the metering blocks soaking in water because, well, if you guys have ever worked on a Holly, those old gaskets get baked on there. I'm sorry, something's blooming, so my sinuses are draining bad. Still have to put the seats in. Well, you know, have all this trim. My wife has got the door panels going. I just don't see a way it's going to happen. So we'll walk out to Plan B. Plan B is a 2-time Hot Rod Power Tour, in quotation marks, winner. It made it there twice. It made it back twice. One time it made it 30 miles from the house on the way home, and I had an HEI fail. It's a pretty sweet little truck, drives well. Had a 4L60 in it, which I determined wasn't going to work when I went to this, and I put a 700 R4 in it. Oh look, it's been sitting long enough that it's already got mud daubers in it. We'll bust that out of there. Had a 700 R4 in it, which I determined was not strong enough to hold the horsepower, so I broke that to pieces, tore the front pump out of it. So the plan is, once again, this is an untested puppy. I could take the motor home. Wouldn't that be something for the power tour? We can't do that because my wife has to start packing up the house because we have to be out of here right after the power tour ends. I have an old Stalker 4L80E right here. Brand new torque converter, went with a stock converter. Have a standalone controller for it. Plan is to just put that in that pickup truck, make it drive. I hope that that transmission works. It worked when it came out of a van. The question is it going to go 2,500 miles? I don't know, but I'm going to work on the car today, try and get as much done as I can. Then tomorrow, I'm going to roll it outside, roll the truck in the morning, put a transmission in it, and see if that works. If that does not work, guys, I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to go to Enterprise, and I'm going to have to rent a car. I don't want to miss this power tour. I have worked and worked and worked to try and get this done. And as much as I hate to disappoint all you that have actually watched it come along, I'm pretty much stuck. That was the straw that broke the camel's back going to the tag office yesterday, because legally I can't drive it. There is a possibility, maybe, if I get a buddy that has a dealer tag, that we can use a dealer tag and go for a ride, but I don't know that that'll happen. We'll have to see. And that's where we're at. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but there's always next time. There's always maybe a cruise somewhere else, cruising the coast, cruising somewhere, where you'll see the old girl and my fat ass and ugly face. But for right now, the project is pretty much dead for the Hot Rod Power Tour. Breaks my heart. I was really looking forward to showing this thing off, showing everybody what I can do with some junk, and just having a grand old time with it. Fingers crossed, it might not be over, but it's looking pretty bad. So there you have it. We'll catch you on the flip side. Hope you enjoyed all the videos. I'll keep making them as we go farther. You never know, there could be some big changes. We might just make it better. I will go through a couple little things real quick, just so that you know I haven't stopped. I came up with a magic plan. That little thing right there goes to this little thing right here, and that holds the whole front end together. It works really well. Once it's in place, it locks in real good. The Hollies, of course, are 500 CFM a piece. Of course, you'd run fine with them. Actually, for highway cruising, they're better. And the reason they're better is because, well, I can show you on this one. This is one that I was going to use one time before. If you look where the adapter plate is, the two barrels ride right in the middle. Because they ride right in the middle, you get better fuel distribution at part throttle. Meaning that, unlike the four barrels, which if I'm only running on the primary is off to the driver's side, like a good bit, they will be right in the center, which means that it'll split the air fuel mixture a little bit easier in the plenum to make it work a little better. So anyway, that's my theory. I could be seriously wrong, I don't know, but it looks good on paper. So no 600s, we're on to 500s, and we're gonna just continue on here. So have a great day. Hope to see you all on the power tour. Don't know what I'll be driving, but just look for an old bald fat man, and that'll be me, or one of many. Bye for now. Well, it's still Wednesday, and thus far I have the entire fuel system done. I went to my two 500s, made my AN lines, put a neat little Y underneath there, hooked up my pressure regulator. Before I hooked up the pressure regulator, I did put a little fuel in the tank, kicked it in the butt, and flushed out the big lines, because you always, when you cut them,
especially if you're using a cutoff wheel. You get some goop in there, so I did flush it. When I flushed it, I put a rag in the can and poured it back in the can, and sure enough, the rag was full of stuff. So the good news is, it's all set. I did have one needle in seat that was leaking, so I put that back together with a new needle in seat. I've wired up the battery cable to the starter, wired up the starter wires for the hot and the ignite and all that good stuff. I've run them across the back. I primed the engine. In the back, I did have a couple fuel leaks at the back. I think I forgot to tighten 2 of the AN fittings. No surprise there. Here's a lot of stuff going on. I still have to tighten down the fuel tank, but the fuel tank is mounted. It's snug. So we'll do that. I did have a little leak at this fitting. It looks like I might have a little at both of them, so we'll snug those up. Still have to do the inner rollover valve. Hook up this pink wire for fuel gauge, which I doubt if it'll work. I gotta make an end for my positive cable and hook this stuff up and kick this bear in the butt. I'll bring it up on number 1 in the morning, drop the distributor in the hole. He says, drop the distributor in the hole. There's a minor setback with that, and that is that in order to get the distributor in the hole, I can get the distributor in. I'm not sure that I can get the cap on without pulling the carburetor off. So we'll see. I may have to pull that back carb and the linkage back off. But I do have my linkage all done. It works really well. So we're good there. So we'll do that, kick it in the butt in the morning. There's not a whole lot of break-in procedure. It's a roller cam. I'm just gonna kick it in the butt for a minute, make sure it's okay, get some oil pressure up in it. I'm not gonna warm it up. I'm just gonna run it long enough to know it runs. Then I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna run my evaporator and condenser lines so that I can mount the radiator solid. Then I will go ahead and kick it in the butt, see how the thermostat works, make sure it's gonna run, get the fans wired up so they work. But the primary goal at this point is kick it in the butt as early in the morning as possible. Once it's in and running, then I'm gonna go gangbusters. Some good news, I may have a dealer tag on the way that I can use that will make me pseudo legal. A lot of guys do it. Well, I'll do it. It'll be insured through me anyway, plus, so I'll be careful. We're gonna try and get this thing running tomorrow and get it ready for the road. If it's not ready for the road tomorrow, I'm not even gonna go to plan B. I'm gonna go ahead and rent a new car. There's no sense taking a chance, last day, last minute, putting a transmission in a truck that is not tried and true either, and trying to drive it closer to 3,000 miles. I have to go to Tennessee and then to Atlanta, Georgia. So we'll see how it all lays out, but I'm still going as fast as I can. There's still a, what, 2 in 5 chance maybe? A little less than 50%, but we'll see. I mean, geez, you want to drive a new car, or do you want to drive this? Obvious answer.